Distractions. Distractions are the enemy. They're terrible for me trying to make my vlogs here and explain my thoughts. Right now we've got a big main road that unfortunately runs through our village that takes a lot of traffic from big towns to other big towns, and we're right on it. I don't know if this mic is picking it up, but I can certainly hear it, and it's distracting as fuck. You can hear trucks, big trucks going by. Actually, when it rains, on the rainy days, it amplifies the noise, so it's way louder. You hear the spray coming off the tyres, I think, and it goes... It's like a pain in the ass to actually hear myself think. Also, I think that the camera's capturing these noises, and as you've seen sometimes on my channel, I do like audiobooks. So I might, re-listen to those at some point, and if I hear a fucking truck in the background, I'm going to be so pissed off, but I bet they're there. I bet every now and then there's like a bit of traffic going by that you can hear between my clips of trying to read a novel to the microphone. It's a pain in the ass. You've got other distractions as well. If you've got a place to yourself, I envy you so much if you've got your own land and your own house, and there's minimal other family members, or your family members are very understanding, because then you can have certain rooms for your own kind of audio stuff. You can, if you're a video maker, that is, or audio maker, audio engineer, podcaster, whatever, you'll be able to create a little space that is shielded from noise, and you can't hear. Like, sometimes you hear doors slamming and doors opening in the corridor, people going back and forth. Sometimes someone tries to get your attention when you're in the middle of recording, and that pisses me off no end. But, if you have your own space, then to some extent you can control that, I think. I just heard a car door slamming. I don't know if that was over there or over there. I think it was behind me, actually. It doesn't annoy me so much like noises of nature, like if there's a bird like tweeting out there. I mean, that's quite nice natural background noise, isn't it? I suppose it wouldn't really annoy me too much on an audiobook, because it's quite a pleasant noise. But if it's like a hawk or an owl in the night, like just like, that's getting into the terrain of really distracting and annoying. Slamming doors are probably the worst. Door knocks are the worst. In fact, if you watch a film, isn't it jarring when someone knocks on a door in a film and they just record that sound? They don't do anything to it. It's just like, it really feels like it's coming from your own home, I think, is the main thing. So it's like it's such a jarring distraction. It's like, huh? You're watching a film and you're like, oh, that's on screen. That's not actually my house. But it sounds so alike that it kind of sets your heart on edge. In the old days, the era I came from, I suppose it would have been the telephone. The telephone, sometimes, if the volume was high, I mean, you got that clang. Sometimes would be quite annoying and quite panic-inducing sometimes if you don't know who's going to be calling or whatever. Or if you do know who's calling and you're waiting for a call, but it's at the wrong time and you're doing something at the time and you hear that ring. It's just like, oh, panic stations. And you have to calm yourself down. There are other distractions around the world, like if you're trying to focus on something, like you've got a job, a task set in front of you that requires focus, like you've got to find something on a sheet, or you've got to calculate some maths problem, or you've got to compare two lists, and if someone's talking to you while you're doing that, it's just like stress, That's a distraction that just, ramps up your stress. And when I'm stressed, my body temperature rises. It's probably the same with a lot of people, actually. My body temperature rises as soon as I'm stressed. Like, if you give me... And there's probably another video we could do talking about this, but if you give me one task to focus on, it's fine. If you then give me another task to focus on, the stress ramps up, the pressure ramps up. You give me 3 tasks, I've got to keep that in my mind, and I know I'm forgetful, and it's difficult to I've got those 3 things, I've got to do them in this order. This one's going to be the hardest, I'll do this first. You don't want anyone distracting you at that point. When it gets to 4 tasks at the same time you've been given, 5 tasks at the same time, 6 tasks at the same time, at that point, interruptions from outside, from people, just become like, whoosh. You can't, like, at 4 tasks up, I would say, it's just like, you can't talk to me. You can't step in. I've got stuff to do, alright? Once I reduce this down to 2 tasks, you can fucking talk to me. But 3 tasks, 4 tasks, this is too much. 4 tasks, I'm about to forget one of the tasks because I've got to juggle 4 in my mind, and I've got to do the 3 that I've got, and, keep a 4th one in my mind. At 5 tasks and 6 tasks, like, something with me, like the pressure makes my mind kind of shut down, and I start just rejecting all the tasks and going, okay, fuck all this. I'm going back to task 1. I'm only doing task 1. I'm going to ignore all the other tasks. I'll pick up the pieces, or I'll ask someone, or I'll work out what the fuck all the other shit was later. I'm going back to the first task because, 5 or 6 tasks at the same time is too much. Bring that back. This is about distractions, so that whole task thing could be another video. That could be a video about pressure. But seeing as this is a video about distraction, it's just that when you have the pressure of all, like, more than 3 tasks, for me anyway, distractions, I don't let them in. Like, I don't want to let them in. I'm concentrating, and just, especially the more idle and shallow the chit-chat or banter, or like someone's trying to get your attention for a menial thing, a pointless thing, like, oh look, there's a bird. Oh, did you see like this TV show or whatever? I don't even watch TV, but did you see Neighbours last week? Or like, hey, I hear like Jennifer's going out with. Shut the fuck up. I'm not constraining your free speech, but I'm not absorbing whatever information you've got to tell me. I need to focus on this. So that's another thing about distractions. And with these types of vlogs, I could probably do 1 video on a topic, is what I'm trying to do, I guess. It's what I'm trying to get around to do, what I've been trying to get around to do for ages. I don't really get many chances to do this. So you'd have video 1 on a topic like, this is distractions 1, and in the unlikely event that I just suddenly think, oh, I really need to discuss more about distractions, there'll be distractions 2, distractions 3. This particular subject, I'm probably not going to do that. There's another distraction that I'm doing right there, which happens quite a lot, which is tangent hopping. Like, your mind tries to jump to other subjects, and you're trying to focus on the subject of distraction. I know, it's ironic, isn't it? But your mind is like, oh, should we get on to pressure? Oh, now we get lost in this other subject here. And then eventually you forget what your original subject was. So your mind can be a distraction if you don't streamline your thought into focusing in clarity on one subject and trying to stay on it, if that's the goal you're trying to achieve. What other distractions are there in the world? They say that leisure things can be a distraction from work. I can see that. I wouldn't want to work from home. I've never thought that was a good idea, because if you work from home, like you do actual work, like your money-making work from home, then you're just leaving yourself open to distractions that you don't need, like the leisure that you're always surrounded by in your home. When you're at home, this is a place of like chilling out and relaxing, and you want to watch a film, you want to sleep, you want to eat a meal, you want to play around. Or can I grow a plant? Or can I do, I don't know, feng shui? Can I do exercise? Can I, like, draw this picture? Which, they can be work if it's actually for a paid project, but sometimes that's leisure, sometimes that's work, so I suppose that's not one to use as an example, but the home is like the place of leisure. You don't want to be working in your home. You want to compartmentalize your home life here and your work life there, as in, you need to work in a room that is outside your house. Ideally one that you travel to, not just like an office that's stuck on, because You know, if you're in your house and you're trying to work, you can just, oh, suddenly I'm on the internet, suddenly I'm just on a search engine, suddenly I've just got distracted by some news or some movie or some advert bullshit or whatever. Whereas that's not going to happen if your workplace is somewhere where you go to where all that happens there is you're going to work. You're going to do the tasks about work. You're not going to go on the internet. You're not going to mess around. You're not going to watch a film. You're going to go there. I think the more involved and more busy the work is, the better. The more it demands your attention and the more you're doing physical labour and checking things that takes up most of your brain's capacity for focus, the better. The thing I always like to do is like checking lists and unpacking boxes of stock and checking the stock is the right thing and checking the price on the stock, and like I used to do that with retail, and that was like the engaging bit. The moment you're just waiting or not doing much, or like waiting for a customer, or no customer is talking to you, or there's no one in the shop, like there's no one to serve or give service to, there's nothing taking up your time that you need to constantly push at to get done before the end of the day. The moment that happens, the distractions creep in, like from your home life, like your leisure, like you're like, nothing's happening, I have nothing to do. I probably do want to listen to some music. I probably do want to not just stare at this wall here. I probably do want to hear a person talk because there's no one talking here, so I'll put a video on of someone talking and absorb that. You know, you don't want to, you know, that's something that happens from home and leisure that you don't really want to get mixed up with life. That happens when your job is not like as real work as it should be, I should say. Like if you work in an office and you're not really doing a job, like these people on the gender study and diversity officer jobs, they're not doing any work. There's no work there. There's nothing there to be done, really. Just picking an example of something I fucking hate as that. But there are lots of jobs where you're not actually doing work, as I would class it. I think the best kind of work is something that's constantly coming and you constantly do it and you constantly make something or push something through. But, you know, it takes effort and like a rhythm, I guess. Physical stuff, like a postman or something would be a job, a good job. You're constantly getting the mail, finding out where the mail's got to go, finding out where that place is, driving to that place. There could be a little bit of leisure in driving to that place. You might put some music on there, but I suppose it's up to you whether that distracts you from the road or whatever while you're driving. But you're constantly on to the next thing, on to the next thing. I've got to put some effort into doing this thing here. You know, I've got to walk up this hill to this person's house. I've got to watch out for their dog. I've got to look out for any signs that say don't post here or post there or whatever. Anyway, I'm doing the tangent hopping distraction now. I'm getting off topic and I'm forgetting how I got here. Yeah, you get more distractions when you don't compartmentalise your home life from your work. That's another one. Are there any more? I think I've done 3 different kinds of distraction there. Are there any more distractions? Now they say there's a kind of distraction which I'm not 100% on right now. It's not really my view in politics, where governments will distract you from things supposedly with psyops, psychological operations. I don't know how many of those I believe in, to be honest, personally. So the idea is that the government is trying to do something to the public, which I'm totally on the page with that shit. They're doing it all the time. They're doing evil shit to us all the time. But I don't know if it's necessarily conservatives who say this. I think it's more other anti-lockdowners. But the conservatives do say it sometimes, and the classical liberals, that the government will create a sort of distraction, supposedly, in the news. Like, they will do something with their powers and their money that they can do, and they will get the MSM media to focus on it. Like, oh, look at this thing that's happening. and it's meant to be like a ruse, like this is meant to be a facade for something they're doing over here that they don't want any attention on. So that's supposedly a distraction. I don't know. I think it must happen, but I don't know to what extent it happens. I think it's less often than people think, and I think it doesn't always work when they try and do something like that. I think they don't do it that much because they must know it doesn't really work. Like, people's attention is where people's attention wants to be. It's never really on what the government wants or the TV media wants. So the TV media wants the public to look at this thing, look at this celebrity, look at what he's doing, look at this trans activism, look at this, don't look at the Islamic attack, look at this thing we've created, this situation we've created with a minister. There's a scandal going on where he's fucked the wrong person or something while he's doing his job. It's just like, I can see how they happen. I don't believe for a second that you can control public attention like that, but you can with some people. You can with a lot of people. I don't know if it's a 50-50 split or what. There are definitely tons of sheep out there. We've learned this from the lockdown crisis in 2020. There are tons of public who will just do whatever the government say and watch and consume mainstream media and believe everything that's there and not be skeptical at all and, wear the mask, take the poke. But there are an awful lot of people who are anti-lockdowners who went like, no, fuck this. Like, they're skeptical, they don't do what they're told, they're against authority. But anyway, we're talking about distraction. There's my mind tangent hopping, distracting me from, and there's another sound outside the door, jumping me from subject to subject. So, I'll round off the video there. Thank you for watching.